A 19-year-old Keith Radford began his career in July 1971 at CKLW-TV in Windsor, Detroit, running studio camera on the Bozo the Clown Show at Channel 9. But soon moved to the radio side of CKLW, becoming a board op and news assistant at the Big 800 on the AM dial.
CKLW in the Hometown Kid. It's 6:36 Sunday night, Elton John concert night. Keith Radford is up in the Big 8 traffic chopper. Right now, here's the report for the Elton John concert. Keith?
Half an hour before things start rolling at the Elton John concert. For your friendly follower of Coca-Cola, that's the latest. This is Keith Radford in the CKLW Big 8 traffic copter.
2 years later, Keith moved to Ottawa, reading the news on CFGO. Then on to Chum, Toronto's premier radio station, before returning to CKLW Radio as news director.
Good evening. After weeks of speculation.
After 11 years in Detroit, Keith broke into the television news business, anchoring at CKVR, Channel 3 in Barrie, Ontario, just north of Toronto. That led him to a reporter job at CTV in TO, covering the Queen's visit, even caught with the Royals and Canada's Prime Minister in a front-page photo in the Toronto Telegram.
They are the victims of a hoax.
In 1983, at the age of 31, Keith came to the United States as an anchor at KUTV, the NBC station in Salt Lake City, Utah, where he stayed 5 years before shuffling off to Buffalo.
It was a big year for Buffalo and Western New York.
When Keith arrived in the Queen City in 1987, it was a homecoming of sorts. The Canadian broadcaster was back near Toronto, where his family lives.
Here at the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto, 5 years later, it was up and running.
He hit the ground running and quickly became the go-to guy for the big stories, like this one in Poland on the election of Lech Wałęsa.
The story here in Poland is more than just politics. It's about people and what they want or what they hope for from this election.
And as time passed, his look would change, but his strong reporting skills have remained a constant.
Keith, he works like a professional in any situation, especially in a developing story where he may be out in the field and has to think on his feet. He's terrific at that. I haven't worked with anyone better.
The New York State Thruway Authority being called up on the car.
Keith also has a strong presence on the anchor desk and has shared it with many staffers over the years, including Irv, all the while keeping a good sense of humor.
Freezing. Oh, my, I'm feeling chill.
We'll be right back. Keith has always got something funny to say about something.
And that's why soon after he arrived in Buffalo, he started the Hotline, a weekly report featuring the lighter side of the news.
Yes, folks, a Hotline on the road once again tonight in beautiful downtown New York, and you just never know who you're going to run into here in the Big Apple, out walking the streets, about to get a dog, I think. Our old buddy Regis Philbin. How are you, Regis?
Fine, Keith. How you doing?
Not much rattles this newsman, not even in the early years, working out of this barren office.
So you couldn't buy a better time.
No speak of Polish. American.
If you see pictures of Keith from 1987, he looks like he just got out of high school, you know, with that big head of hair and little skinny kid. Kind of like, he sort of looked like Frank Sinatra, like an early Frank Sinatra.
Luck, be a lady tonight. Throw him, Frank. Throw him, baby. All right.
Pretty good singer. But Keith's real passion is airplanes, and he jumped at the chance to fly with the Blue Angels.
Am I all green?
And his aircraft expertise proved to be invaluable during the Flight 3407 tragedy.
Justine Krasuski lost her husband, Jerry. He was 53.
And he became a strong advocate for the victims' families.
So we'll be with these Western New Yorkers all day today as they march through the Capitol.
Traveling to Washington with them several times as they pushed for justice.
Thanks, Katie. Also tonight, the Buffalo Public School System now has a brand new superintendent.
What a ride it's been with Keith over the years, his face a fixture in local television news, his longevity transforming this Canadian into a true blue Buffalonian, the patriarch of the 7 Eyewitness News family, and one of the best broadcasters this city has ever seen.